Welcome to Films in Black and White, everybody. How are you all feeling? We are so excited to be with you all today for a bunch of different reasons.
Yeah.
One, we got Marcus J. Destin, college grad, in the
Congratulations, sir.
Thank
He
you.
did it.
We did it.
He did it, y'all.
Congratulations.
We
He
did
did
it.
it.
We did
And
it,
then-
y'all.
And then, sorry, Marcus, but more importantly,
This is more
we are
fun, yeah.
joined
Right.
by a one Stephanie Williams. We're
Mhm.
so thrilled that she's with us again.
Yes.
Happy to be here.
To unpack Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, and that's what it was pure madness, goddamn.
I want y'all to understand that I am sitting in the theater with Marcus, and I'm not going to give anything away. We're not going to get into it right away. But this man, several times, I thought was going to have a genuine stroke in the middle of this movie.
We're gonna get.
Oh.
Let's say it now. We're gonna get into spoilers.
Oh,
You would have
very
been the
good.
third person she killed. You would have been the third black person she killed,
I
Yeah.
would have been.
That's
The
very
third
true.
one,
right?
with no remorse. I mean,
Well-
is that equality? She killed the white man first.
I mean, technically, yes.
You know,
Mm,
it's just we can get into it, but it's actually not even. But hold on, like that's not even. I don't even have any necessarily gripes with her what she was doing because I did not go to this movie sober. I read the reviews and I said, you know what?
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
These IMAX tickets, they're not cheap. You better
No.
have a good time.
Yes.
You guys
So-
will enjoy it.
I understand that.
You might as well. So I said, hey, edible 30 minutes beforehand and smooth
Yeesh.
sailing. And next thing when they played Top Gun, I don't know if they did that in y'all's theater, but
They did
they
not.
played about 5 or 8 minutes. I don't really recall. When you're a
Yep.
little high, everything is long. So
Mhm.
it could have been 10 minutes.
I mean,
But
the question is, did you see it at AMC? Was Nicole Kidman there to guide you on your
no,
journey?
I was at a Regal. Unfortunately,
Oh.
they could not
Ah,
afford Miss
okay.
Kidman.
Nicole, that's
Um,
sick. She's
okay.
sick to her stuff.
They could
Yeah.
only afford Lisa Ray. That's the only person that they could afford.
You know,
Right.
that's
So
fine.
We got somebody.
Lisa Ray at a Regal is hilarious.
That is very
Right?
funny.
It's like everybody
Okay, I'm so
knows. Everybody knows why we're here.
Is this okay? Never mind.
All right.
I was gonna
But
say
like,
Players Club. She's
I
on the
jabbed
second
my
floor.
husband like really hard in his ribs, so I might have actually broke his ribs. Who knows? And I was like,
Excellent.
we have got to see Top Gun in IMAX. He's like, but you couldn't even finish the first movie yesterday. I'm like, I don't care. I want to see it. It's fast planes.
I mean,
Tom
yeah.
Cruise he's not even running in this movie. So like that's
True.
the part right there.
That's
Yes.
very true. I want Maggie Roush to videotape Brian watching Top Gun because every time I see the trailer, I go, oh, I don't want to watch it, but Brian's gonna fucking love it.
Yeah, Brian's
it's
gonna
just
Right?
I mean, okay, like, is it U.S. military propaganda? Probably,
100%.
but
Oh, yeah.
it's also though it's fast planes going at each other very fast, and it's just an immediate adrenaline rush for me.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
rad as hell.
yeah.
That's,
Every time
that's
I-
what got me,
Lisa
Brian.
Ray-
So I don't blame you.
Lisa
Okay,
Ray
thank
opening
you.
up Regal.
I'm glad somebody gets it.
Like the idea of Lisa Ray being the one to open up a Regal movie, like Players Club. I'm just imagining like
It just makes sense.
it just makes perfect sense to me.
It
And I don't know
does.
how
You
she
know
does
what,
it, but
that-
Stephanie Williams, like she does it again.
It's that or in where I'm from. I don't know, they have these in other parts of Illinois, but like in the Chicagoland area,
Yeah.
south suburbs, there are Marcus theaters.
Oh yes,
No,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
I
like
know
those
exactly what
movies?
you're talking about.
She would probably be a better fit for that, but I
okay.
think Regal bought Marcus, so it's fine. It
Yeah.
works.
It all works out. It all
Yeah.
works out.
And the
Well, let's check in with everybody before we dive into the movie. I'm going to kick it on over to one Brian Roush. Brian Roush, how you feeling? What getting into this week? How are things going?
Look, I'm just really excited to be here. I saw this movie Saturday afternoon, and I've basically just been thinking about it nonstop. If you follow me on Twitter, Brian Roush 115, I've basically been on and off, been like, you know what, and another thing. I mostly enjoy it, but like I've just been having these spurts. Like you can tell when I'm taking breaks from working because I'll just go on Twitter and be like, here's the thing about Wanda, though. So I have a lot of energy for this movie, good and bad. I had an enjoyable time. So honestly, I've been looking forward to this. And yeah, Maggie and I have been talking about this like for the better part of Saturday.
I'm very excited to hear
so,
your thoughts.
Yeah,
Brian.
I'm excited to get into it.
for the majority of this movie, you were the only person I could think of, and how badly your heart was broken during this movie.
Yeah.
Look.
And we'll get into it, but we're gonna have to check in to make sure you're okay. Like,
I appreciate the wellness check. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm all right.
Your girl went on a rampage, and
He did with no remorse.
I leaned over to Marcus when there was like we were 2/3 of the movie. I said, like, there's no way Brian can fucking explain this away. Like, I was excited. I was excited that we get to stick it to you for once. So
yeah.
So I'm excited to get into it.
Cool.
But I also want to kick it on over to the college grad himself.
Yes.
Not the college dropout, the college grad. That's a different Kanye album. One Marcus J. Destin. Marcus, how are you feeling, sir?
Listen, I am graduated. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
Well, I don't know. I got to double check. I walked the stage, but you know the grades always determine if you get the degree. So they'll let you walk the stage for the theatrics, but you got to always make sure them grades go in and everything is good. So as of right now, you know, we all good. But it was good. I appreciate all the love everybody sent over the weekend. It was a lot. I'm tired.
Yep.
But it was like so much fun, man. You know, it was a ball. Doug was able to go to graduation.
I was there
with my mom. That was the whole thing. They were just cutting up in the goddamn corner the whole time.
It's kind of a problem.
They were a problem and issue. I mean, front row too. Like they were not deep in that place was packed, and they are the first two people you see it's like the stage and Doug and my mama cutting up, acting a fool over there in the corner.
I took on a role of agitator in this because your mom would
that sounds about
smile
right
for your mama, and I'd be like, come on now, like
that's exactly what you would do. You would think they were an interracial couple if you did not know they were both happily married.
I really hope
just
your mom's
off of each other. Like it was just absolutely ridiculous.
Come on now.
The best support system.
It was the best.
So I'm here. I'm here to have a good time, man. I'm ready to cut up.
That's fantastic. Well, I'm super again excited for you, happy for you. But as I mentioned, we are here with a guest. So, Miss Stephanie Williams, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. How's your weekend been? What you getting into?
I worked, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I saw Wanda and I worked.
All right.
But it's all right, you know. Sometimes you just gotta sacrifice a weekend or four.
That's a very good point.
Yep.
I do, and we can get into this a little bit later. I do want to congratulate you on all of the stuff that has been coming out with Nubia.
Yes,
thus far. Saturday afternoon, I took myself down to Acme Comics and Collectibles to pick up the Coronation Special. I've not had a chance to read it yet, but I am super pumped about it. So congratulations!
Thank you, Doug.
All of that.
Yes. I was hoping we were going to take a beat on Coronation because mine's on the way. I haven't read it yet, but I'm super pumped.
Yeah, it was free comic book day, so I went down to shout out to Acme Comics and Collectibles at 1622 Pierce Street in Sioux City. I went down there, checked it out. Ooh. They gave us 4 free comics for free comic book day, which I was really excited about. And then I bought 4 as a way to say, like, well, now we're all square because I gotta support a local business. So but gentlemen and lady, we have to get into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So Marcus, if you would please give us your barbershop summary of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be
I have no idea where to start.
Okay, I don't even know where you go.
Here's where we go. Doctor Strange ain't had a movie in 10 years. He keeps playing like he keep playing like an additional piece. Like he come in and he slide in there and he'll be like, "Hey, yo, it's me. Don't forget, I'm Doctor Strange. Sometimes I'm the Sorcerer Supreme. Sometimes I'm not. So whatever, it is what it is." So this movie picks up with Strange. Where does this movie start? Hold on now. How did this movie start?
Oh, it's like a him and America are running from
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So he's having a wet dream, a nightmare, not a wet dream. I mean, whatever it is, whatever it is you want.
It's a magic dream.
It's
magic, mystical dream, multiverse dream.
He's having a mystical dream. All right, and this dream is him with grayer hair running, and it's like tied in a little man bun, you know what I mean? And he's running with American Chavez, okay? And they are running from this big being, whatever this being is that's chasing them, and they're trying to get to the Vashanti. There's a book of good that'll, if you do good to it, it'll give you good back or something like that. It'll be something Harry Potter, right? So they go to the book and they trying to chase and run to it. They get caught. So this variant of Doctor Strange then tells the girl, well, you know, in the means and in the grand scheme of shit, I'm gonna have to sacrifice your ass because like it is what it is. And she's like, wait a minute, I thought we was cool. And he was like, I mean, we are cool, but like this is more important, which he won't wrong, but I mean, like it's kind of fucked up. So like, okay, here we are. So then he ends up dying. Not right now, Brian. He ends up dying.
not now, Brian.
Not right now. He ends up dying, and then he ends up dying. American passes out while the monster kind of tries to take her power from her. She goes, busts a giant ass star, and goes through the multiverse and lands in New York in the world that we know as the MCU. Okay, which is I guess 616.
Yeah, baby, 616.
So they go, and Doctor Strange is player hating at a wedding. He went to
really was.
Wedding, and he was out there. And she's like, "Are you happy?" And then her husband, who black, comes out. I just wanted to say that because she was down with the swirl. He just came out.
The first thing Marcus said in the theater, he goes, "Oh, she's into the swirl."
She's down for the swirl. I said, "Man, that's an upgrade." She went from the Magic Man to the Black Magic Man. So like that's how it go. So then he, you know, she's having a conversation with him. She's like, "Are you happy, Steven?" And he's like, "No." And she tells him like, "Here's the problem. Here's why I love and why I hate you. You always got to be the one to hold the knife." And he was like, "Damn, that kind of cut me deep. And that's kind of fucked up," which is important because that goes throughout the whole thing. So anyway, he sees a bus being flipped and some shit is happening, but he can't see what the fuck is going on. So he goes down to the street. He jumps off, finishes martini, and drunk drives or drunk superheroes all over the place to go to the little bus thing. And he sees American Chavez inside of this bus that's being eaten up by a monster or a demon that was chasing her.
Cool. Cool.
So boom, he reveals it. Oh, all of a sudden you see the shit with a giant eyeball. There's a big fight that breaks out. He saves them. Then he goes and he's trying to figure out with Wong, how do we protect this girl? Who is she? I don't know what's going on. You know, with all this other stuff going on. He's like, I know somebody who can help us. They go to this garden, I guess, of Washington trees, and they go and they smell this damn tree, and he's like, "Oh man, this is real. I thought it was gonna be magic." And she was like, "Hell no, man. You know, I'm really out here I put all that magic shit behind me." And he was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna bring somebody here, and you know, like, can you help me protect them? I need an Avenger." She was like, "How about you bring American here?" And he was like, "Well, hold up, motherfucker. I ain't never tell you what her name was." So then she was like, "All right, you got it," and then revealed this deserted. And I mean, it was hell on earth. It went from Washington trees to goddamn just a bare land of nothing but death and corruption. So she was like, "Listen, Steven, I need her, okay? Because I want my kids back." And it was like, damn, usually parents be like, "I want a break from my kids." But she like, "Yo, I really want my kids." And so
very fair point.
He's like, "I can't let you do that because you got to kill her in order to get her power." So the whole movie is about Wanda chasing down American, who has the power to go to the multiverse.
An American?
American Chavez. She's.
I thought that was an audio thing on my end, so I'm really happy.
No,
it's
no, because it's really gagging me. No, chasing down one American.
America Chavez.
America Chavez. Who you know, we're gonna get into her character later, how she wears the flag and the star and the LGBTQ plus pin right on there. Like this was like a giant mosquito, like it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Who directed this? Raimi said, "Ally," wink, and then he walked off.
Yep. He put the sticker on his window, and then he left.
I leaned over to Marcus.
He walked right out.
I leaned over to Marcus in the theater. I was like, "Fuck you, Florida."
Yeah,
like, just take it.
Yeah. That was
just
the
like
whole thing.
stick it to him.
So that's basically the whole movie.
Literally with a pen.
Yeah,
it's literally right in the American flag. So
right there,
there's all these other moments in there, and then the movie just follows them trying to chase this shit down and trying to save American, teach her how to use her power. Strange got to figure out who he is while looking in the mirror of these other variants, and then you get Wanda, who keeps telling people, "I'm not a monster. Everything I'm doing is justified because I am a mother." Like, goddamn, y'all. Like, are y'all not hearing me? And it was everybody's like, "Yeah, but you just snapped the professor's neck. He was in a wheelchair. All you had to do was turn his wheelchair off, and you decided to snap his neck." And like, there we are.
That was another reoccurring joke throughout the entirety of the movie was she'd say, I'm a mom, and I'd be like, Happy Mother's Day. Because we saw this yesterday.
I mean, this arguably is a Mother's Day movie. So
it is. I mean, it could be seen as a Mother's Day movie. So shout out to moms.
Yeah.
Is that Marcus, that's pretty good.
I mean, that's the setup. Yeah.
I mean, with the exception of the American recurring flub, I think you did a great job.
My bad. I still got PTSD from the American flag, so
it's okay. It's okay.
Don't worry. All right.
I want to give everybody just a quick rundown of box office and cast so we kind of can get into it. So as of this morning, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has had $185 million at the box office. And that is just currently in the United States. There is some question as to whether or not it will be popular worldwide, given the fact that America Chavez has two moms, which seems weird to get hung up on, but hey,
men in China,
you guys do yours. But Benedict Cumberbatch comes back. Benedict Cumberbatch comes back, and the American thing as Dr. Stephen Strange. Elizabeth Olsen is returning as Wanda Maximoff. Oh my mouth. Chiwetel Ejiofor. I butchered that one. Comes back as Baron Mordo. Benedict Wong comes back as Wong. Rachel McAdams is back as Dr. Christine Palmer. I'm actually going to go to Brian to help me with America Chavez's name.
I practiced saying her name.
Thank you. I knew you know what? I knew you would. I knew you would.
This is what we do here in Films of Black and White.
Xochitl Gomez.
Okay.
I believe is how it is pronounced. I gave it my best here. But I kept seeing that name pop up, and I was like, I should probably figure out my best here to say her name.
You know what? That is better. That is better than I would have done it. So thank you, Brian. There are some other bigger reveals in this, but I kind of want to save them for when we get to them, and don't want to give them up front. So
many.
There are a lot. But what did you all, kind of starting off on a high note, what did you all like about this particular movie? Stephanie, what are some things maybe that you enjoyed about the movie?
So there was some cool usage of powers in this. I would say that was they got very creative with some stuff with Strange and also Wanda. I think I did appreciate the what would be this?
I'm so excited.
She's giving I don't know, if they were filming Waiting to Exhale on one storyline, Wanda's story was being filmed on another. So, but also written by the mother in universe who was like, no more wire hangers. She wrote this for Wanda, she wrote the Multiverse of Madness.
So Mommy Dearest.
Mommy Dearest wrote Wanda in this. So for that, I really appreciated just her, trying to get her Cole's cash.
Okay.
Yeah.
From each universe, yes, every single time. And she did extend courtesy. So she did marginally better than a Karen.
That's true.
Yes.
Just a little
bit.
Yes, okay. Y'all starting early with painting this picture, but yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah.
A Wanda being a step above a Karen, that tracks. That tracks. At least she gives you warning,
it is literally a step, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Wanda just keeps getting away with shit, and that's my problem. Yeah, I don't know if we want to get into it now.
Might as well. I mean, you kind of opened the door at this point.
Okay, well, let me start. And I know Brian's gonna come in and defend it.
I will weave in the things I liked about this movie because I did enjoy the movie overall. I walked out of the theater with a smile on my face, being like, "That was wild." I'll watch that again because that was nuts. The whole thing, top to bottom. But no, go ahead, Marcus.
So here's my thing. The movie is good. Let me start right there.
Yes.
I think that it's good. I did hear that Raimi, after test audiences, had to go back and baby proof the movie a little bit.
Did he really?
Oh, sure.
They didn't. There was an article that came out about people didn't understand certain things that he had in there. They didn't understand what was happening, so he had the reshoots were all him baby proofing.
Oh, sure.
The movie so people could better understand it. So I'm kind of interested. I would have been interested to see that, because I know Raimi likes to go extra deep into stuff, especially dialogues and a lot of other shit.
Spider-Man 2, like
Spider-Man 2, Dark Man, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But Wanda, I'm gonna start with Wanda. I do like the character of Wanda. I do like that they just made her a straight up villain. You know, like they set it up like the last time we seen her, she was fighting for her kids, and so you go into this movie like, man, I can't wait to see Wanda just give it up for her kids. Like, I know, Mother of the Year right here, y'all. And she comes in fucking shit up from the jump.
Oh,
like,
there's
the
no
trailers made it seem
pretense.
like she was like good, and look at her clipping flowers and shit off the trees, and look at all this whiteness around the white woman clicking the white, like, you know what I mean? Like, that was just purity.
It did look like a Sears catalog cover.
That was the most
Stewart shot.
That was the most white thing she could do. It's a white lady in an apple orchard wearing a sweater. Like, there's really no other way that you could have dressed
the way
any better.
Announce your innocence, and then you got Strange with this, whatever this scarf he got going on. It's weird with his little outside.
He's trying to cover up a hickey.
It's weird. So he comes in, and she's trying to be nice and all this other shit, and then she just goes straight evil. I do like that, but Wanda has been getting away with shit since WandaVision.
I mean,
fucked up a city, and then all she did was say, "I'm sorry, y'all. That's my bad," and then floated off.
That's literally what happened. She apologized and was like, "Well, bye." Like,
and it's like, what the? And at the end of this movie, what does she do? She's like, she didn't even say, "I'm sorry." She just looked around and was like, "Well, guess I gotta destroy this motherfucker since everybody thinks I'm a monster," and then just brought the whole house down.
Yeah.
So one thing I like, but like I still got an issue with, is Wanda as a character. I think that they. I mean, Elizabeth Olsen is fantastic as an actress. Everything she do, she looked like she about to cry. Her fingers was black as shit, like she had frostbite. So
yeah, it's a great point. Brian?
I mean, a lot. I do want to highlight what Steph said. The visuals in this, I haven't seen it in an MCU movie, and I like weird visual move. And like the moment that the eyeball spoilers, we already talked so many, but anyway, the moment the eyeball popped out of the octopus monster, I was like, my eyes like went super wide, and I was like, this is
that was good.
Like, this is for me, and I was surprised because like a lot of the Marvel movies, like I feel like the most we've ever seen with stuff like that was like something in Guardians, like just something weird or gross. Probably. It wasn't really I can't remember the specific example, but
Guardians 2, it was that big creature that they was trying to take the batteries. They cut a bunch of limbs off.
Like it was, it was messy, but it wasn't like, it was fantasy violence. Like that thing doesn't exist. Nothing has blue or yellow Jello blood. Like, you know, it hits different, you know. But then seeing that, I was like, this is going to be for me. I love it. And so the visuals, and I love that Raimi committed to it. Like, it felt very Raimi. If you're familiar with Evil Dead, if you're familiar with even his Spider-Man movies, like Drag Me to Hell. Like, if this is a great double feature, if you want to do Drag Me to Hell and then Multiverse, like there's some really similar stuff going on style-wise, which I love. So I loved that. I love that something new was done in the type of an MCU movie, because it like the formula is fine and it's enjoyable, but man, this style really left an imprint, and I'm talking about it and I want to go see it again, because I want to see like dead Doctor Strange again, like, because that was gnarly. Like that was like a metal album cover, like a dark wizard with a bunch of hands at a temple, like that. That's Iron Maiden or something. But so that's that was just the visual style. I could eat it up all day, every day.
And I'll piggyback off of that and say that I loved the horror elements of this, like the Evil Dead like nods.
Oh my gosh.
I loved that. Like when Wanda breaks into Carmitage and those doors start slamming, that gave me Evil Dead vibes 100%. And I was like, this is awesome. Like I really appreciated that. I appreciated that moment, Brian, that you're referring to when dead Doctor Strange comes out of the grave. That also gave me those vibes. And Marcus and I talked about this a little bit too, is like that whole his chunk of his face out and he's talking. He and I were like, that stinks of dead, like Dark Man. Like that's exactly what that was.
Oh, yeah.
And that it was just such a cool moment. So I couldn't agree more. I think the horror elements of this, while maybe not as dark as like Evil Dead or even Dark Man a little bit, were still awesome to see him like really commit to those moments. and allow him to put them in there. And that Marvel kind of gave him agency to be like, yeah, go for it. Which I
Like
think
the
is
first
really
half
cool.
of the movie kind of felt like Disney Marvel being like, this is what we need you to do. And then somewhere halfway through, he's like, okay, Marvel. Sam Raimi's like, this is what we need to do. And I'm like, that's fine, I guess. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like there was a good balance with it, I felt like.
So I think that happens like after they go through all of the multiverses.
Yes.
And that's when I feel like it was full on commitment to whatever Raimi
Mhm.
wanted to do. They
Yep.
said, go for it.
Yeah,
Yup.
100%.
Because everything that happened while they were at the Baxter building, oops, my bad, spoiler. But anyway, everything that happened while they were at the Baxter building, while touches of it infuriated me, I did get my life. I deeply enjoyed about 80 to 90% of it.
Yeah.
And maybe 100%, but I'm just very irritated for like 10% of it.
That's
Yes.
I have pieces of this that bugged me too, and we'll certainly get into that. Other thoughts from just around the horn about things that you really liked or things that stood out to you about the movie before we kind of dive into some of the other stuff?
I mean,
go ahead, Marcus.
No, go ahead, Brian.
I mean, this is a larger thing, but I'm just going to jump off on it. The entire Illuminati was the second act, and I loved everything about it. Like obviously we're going to talk about the Wanda stuff, so I'll table that for now. But like the entire Illuminati sequence, it made me so happy. Like I had no expectations going in, and like I'll just say it. We saw Reed Richards, the fan cast of all fan casting, John Krasinski, I think I'm saying his name right. Yeah. Completely unexpected. That wasn't spoiled for me, so I was like, oh, they really did.
I was genuinely shocked by that.
Yeah.
So like that whole thing was a huge highlight for me. Like I love that top to bottom.
That's such a big concept.
It was a huge concept. It's a huge concept to introduce the Illuminati. And like you introduce this, that means this is something you either have to constantly refer back to or has a trickle effect moving forward. Who knows?
I hope so, because what a waste if you don't.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What an absolute waste.
That's a very good point.
Is alive.
Because the Illuminati is like, and Illuminati is just really important in the comics to a bunch of story arcs. So, I hope they didn't squander that. I hope it wasn't a thing of, we need a plot device.
Right.
What will it be? And they chose the Illuminati. Like they chose America Chavez to be a MacGuffin. So
they kind of did. They really did.
Yeah.
It is. There it is.
I mean, listen, and it was a MacGuffin. It was a MacGuffin that I will say that as far as they go, this one, I mean, like I get the logic and all of that.
Yeah.
Does it kind of suck for that character? Sure. But also it's still, if anything, she ended up being a MacGuffin that still had some agency towards the end, if not throughout the whole movie. So it works in that way for her.
Sure.
Because she is the one to say, hey, bitch,
yes,
you want to see your kids? Let's go see your kids.
Yeah, okay, we can go see your kids.
Let's go.
Come on.
Honestly, that was one of my favorite parts of the movie was the fact that and maybe I'm making too big of a metaphor about it, but it was just like, we have so many Marvel third acts of like, I'm gonna punch you hard. No, I'm gonna punch you harder. And then here's America. Here's this woman just being like, okay, everybody cool off. Like, fine, you want to do this? Like, here you go. And then it's like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed that. Like, I enjoyed that it wasn't this entire set piece with like CG stuff. Cause I enjoy it, but you can do more. And I enjoyed that part of it. And going back to what you said, Steph, like I enjoyed that she at least had that agency to be like, nah, like this is messed up. Like I've seen all this stuff. I will do the thing that we're just dancing around. And then that's like, she basically gives a layup. She passes the ball to Elizabeth Olsen to basically finish it out. So I mean, that was enjoyable to me.
I am not super familiar with her, and I did not do my research ahead of time. Are her powers comic accurate? Not that they have to be, but are they close, or was that like an artistic interpretation?
Oh no, that's comic accurate. She literally punches or kicks a star portal into anything.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
So for that, it was very comic accurate. Even
Yes.
They did some retconning with her story. So originally she
Sure.
was from another
Mhm.
dimension with two moms who sacrificed themselves so that she could live. Then they retconned it to another thing where she was like on an island with her sister or something like that, and was like not from another dimension. In this
Okay.
movie, it seems like they did go with the original
Mm.
story.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
because
Seems that way because they were in another dimension.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
clearly, but yeah.
Because
So.
I met her in Young Avengers, I think is when I first
Mhm.
got exposed to her, and I was like, this is a rad character. Because like the way she's written in there, it's just like I don't I'm here, I punch holes and I get stuff done. And I think I'm trying to remember, there's another run of her, I think
She
Gabby
was in the
Rivera.
Ultimates. Yeah, like so Gabby Riviera wrote
Yeah.
her first solo series.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
think
Hmm.
not my introduction to America, but where I read her most was in Al Ewing's Ultimate run, which
Okay.
I highly suggest if you haven't read it.
Right on.
But yeah, she was really cool in that too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good
Yeah.
to know.
I mean,
Thank
yeah,
you for that.
that's another character to add to the Young Avengers route that Marvel
Mhm.
seems to be.
Oh,
Those
I
seem to
didn't
be
even
that
think
way.
about
but
that.
not-
Yeah.
They have not directly addressed it yet. In all of the series, they've introduced a Young Avenger of some sort. They've also introduced a
Yep.
Dark Avenger of some sort.
That's true.
So there's several plot lines that are just like under the dirt, and Marvel just you wait, motherfucker. I got you.
Yeah.
Don't hold on. Just wait.
It's just Kevin. It's just Kevin. Like, it's just, no,
Just
you
wait.
can't go.
Not
Red
yet,
light.
not yet. Oh, you're
Green
gonna be
light.
excited when you see
Right.
it.
I
I
want
want
to
to go back to the
please.
Illuminati. 'Cause I told
Illuminati,
Doug,
please.
when I leaned over to Doug, I told him, I said, if I see John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, I'm going to lose my shit because I have been an advocate for John Krasinski to be Mr. Fantastic because who
That's
doesn't love
exactly
this
how
guy,
that shit
first
went
of all?
down.
And like, I mean, it was, I mean, you look at the fan art that they did and it was like kind of bomb. And it was like, you know what? I like that. I like this kind of dry personality that he brings to a character. When you look at The Office, that's exactly what Jim is. Jim is Mr. Fantastic, just in a button-up shirt. Okay, so cool. So we go and they start doing these goddamn introductions of these heroes, and I'm just like, okay, that's cool. Captain Britain, don't know much about him. That's cool.
Captain Carter.
I didn't watch the series. So I was
We
like, okay,
told
cool.
you to.
I said you did tell me to. I
You
didn't
both
watch
said you should really watch that to get
God.
ready. And
I have
you
not watched What If
insisted.
for those listening. I just haven't watched it because I just don't know nothing
You know,
pulling me.
you're fine.
It's enjoyable,
Thank
but
you.
I get it.
Thank you. I feel like Moon Knight and What If are kind of on the same thing for me. Like if I did knowing what I know now and
Get some
Moon Knight
angry
came out, I would
comments.
kind of be like,
You
I'm
could send
still
you could
disappointed.
send your hate mail courtesy of Marcus Destin to Films in Black and White at
I know
Oh my
Maggie's
God.
tuning in. I bet she's like the Captain Carter slander right now. She's
Oh
probably
no, Captain
like,
Carter's fine. No.
Oh,
Captain
she's
Carter.
gonna hate me for what I'm gonna say about Captain.
then let's.
And I'm-
okay,
Maggie, I
that's-
apologize
no,
right
that's
now.
That's cool.
Let's
That's
get
cool.
into
Mama
it.
Monica was cool for me too. I thought
It was
that was
so nice
cool.
to
I
see
seen
her.
it and it was like it took me a minute to remember who the character was. And then you see John Krasinski, and he didn't just have a normal intro. His ass, of course, had to phase in. And I thought I was expecting the movie theater to go wild, and I was like, oh, I was the only one that was like, oh, I literally was the only person in a full theater that yelled out, oh shit!
Really?
They
Top of
must
his
have
list.
all got spoiled. Because at my
I-
theater,
yeah.
you would think that freaking Beyonce had came out because of the way that
Oh,
the crowd
shit.
reacted.
Like the
You know
hive
how
of
Whitney Houston was
whispers.
looking around in that gift? That was me because I was like, wait a minute. I get
love
it.
that you
But
speak
girl,
just-
let's
I
calm
know
down.
exactly what you're
John
talking
too, but
about.
goddamn.
Yeah, this was a bunch of like moms and older adults
It
that
was.
were in this theater. So literally he shows
Oh.
up and Mark is like, oh shit. And I was like,
I was
like top of his
excited.
lungs.
I didn't
So
think
the parents not only had to deal with all the quote unquote gore, but then they had
Yeah.
this guy just shouting out obscenities and
Yeah.
Jim from The
Yep.
Office.
And then his
And-
bald
it.
friend laughing as he was shouting obscenities at the theater.
I
Because
was
that's what
so
happened when I
excited.
did it.
Because there were rumors he was going to be in it, and they were it's supposed to be a test for the audience to see how well they received him as Mr. Fantastic, and then they were going to move forward with whether they cast him or not, whether he's a variant or he's who he says he is in the Fantastic Four. So I know the rumors were coming, but I was like, there's no way they're going to waste all that fucking time. I
Does
hadn't
feel
seen
like a lot of
anything.
ways.
I didn't get any spoilers, by the way.
No, I
I was
avoided
able to
everything
avoid
too.
all spoilers
Yeah.
before seeing this movie. So I was just kind of shocked. And then you had Professor X. He looked like he was kind of stuffed in that little floating ass yellow thing.
That was an artistic decision.
That was a
It
choice.
was weird. It was very weird. But yeah.
I mean, it was 90s X-Men. It was for all of us who have ever watched that series. I
You're
mean,
right. But what
I don't
the
even
hell?
need to say that. We have Steph here. She makes her own videos with that. Like, I don't even need to
That's
say that.
Okay. But you know what, Steven, not seeing that in live, actually, we got to give Buddy another chair because that's not gonna work.
No, that is not
Because
gonna work.
because my son loves to make things out of the boxes that we have, and it looked like
Love
he
that.
made that chair for Professor X.
Get out.
The suit
Oh
was
my
too
god,
big.
that's amazing.
That's how
The
it was
suit was
looking.
too damn
and I
big.
was
It was too much.
You know what they don't have in Marvel 838? A very functional ADA, because I don't know how they would allow something
There's
like that to
no
get
No,
way
they
that
don't.
works.
That 837
I'm like, it
or
didn't
whatever
even have a
universe they were
seatbelt.
in.
Did it have a seatbelt?
I don't
Because
know.
that's
I'm worried
important.
about the
I'm
like
worried
lack
about it.
of
Well, I guess he
heading.
can slide out anyway because of the way it was, but
If he slide, he just slide to the bottom of the box.
which is terrible.
If he has to stop quickly, he's gonna crack the back of his head open on that like
That's what I'm
hard
saying, like, that
plastic
nothing about
seat.
That
Like
chair is not functional in the way
No.
that it was presented to be
For
in the
look- looks
cartoon.
so
And
good.
It was big as
and you
hell.
know I can't stand Professor X, but
He hates it.
He
I
was probably
worry for his safety.
he was
I
probably
only
telling
want him to
Gene
die
wow.
via
Wow.
other characters.
Wow.
Not
when oh my
because
gosh,
something
when
that could have been
Steph
prevented.
says that really
he was probably
really
telling
makes
he
an
probably told
impact.
like Gene like, hey, bring that yellow chair because this Stephen Strange is coming up. And she's like, are you sure that doesn't do anything? He's like, no, it's gonna
He said
look
we won't
great.
waste the best.
Right.
That shit was
right.
And
big
it
as hell
did.
coming around the corner. Like there was no soft introduction. All you see is
mean,
this big ass yellow
goddamn.
bus coming around the corner. Like,
I
damn.
mean,
It was
With-
moving slow too. I'm like,
Yes.
again, you won't have the fucking it's the Illuminati. You couldn't put a nitro boost in my guy's shit, like nothing.
Yeah.
Just a
You
little
think
waited-
somebody
button.
could.
I mean, hell, that's why Wanda got there so damn quickly. They didn't have enough time to discuss because it took him forever to wheel from wherever he was.
But can we also talk about how scrawny he was trying to help Wanda from underneath the rubble? You had this little
You know
ass
what?
Professor X.
And Brian
He was
Marcus goes like,
Shuffling
oh,
in his dockers,
this whole exchange
his
is 'cause
black turtleneck.
he shows up and I said, I bet he keeps his indentured servant contract in there. I said that to Marcus. And then he gets in that like dreamscape. Marcus out loud goes like, this motherfucker looks like Steve Jobs. Like,
He does.
he did. He looked exactly like Steve Jobs.
I'm
This is a
shocked he didn't
nitpick.
have like the green combat jacket that he had in the
I think he
animated
should have.
series.
He should
I
have.
know,
Right?
They didn't want to commit to it.
He should
But
have.
it's just
mean,
how
yeah.
goofy of him though to self-project into her mind as an
Incredible.
85, no, as a 92-year-old man. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely
Tell-
not.
Go
at
from
least
when you were
telepath
in
to
the
somebody
army.
stronger.
What?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
so much stronger. So he got what he deserved.
I
And I lived. I was so
agree.
happy. I almost
By the
clapped.
way, I mean, like all the Illuminati, I love the fact that they all came off arrogant, and I've enjoyed the iteration of Captain Carter, but like all of them came off just like, look, this is strange. I don't know
Her
who this
death was
Wanda
the
person
sweetest.
is,
It was
but
the sweetest
like,
death.
right? Like, just oh my
It was
gosh, it was like it
delicious.
was.
I
I'm not
had
gonna-
a pack
oh,
of Sour Patch in my hand
Yes.
when she died, and as soon as that frisbee went through her, that that vibranium frisbee.
the
I
trash
said
can lid
yes.
that they're handing out to.
Okay, yeah.
them.
Let's talk about. Okay, I'm going to talk about it. Listen, here's my problem with the Illuminati fight sequence. I didn't think they were going to do this at all. With
Oh my
powers.
gosh,
I didn't
I
think they were
loved
going to do
it.
any of that shit. Mr. Fantastic, one of the smartest people on earth, walks up and says, "Wanda, we have Black Bolt," and she's like, "What's his power again?" So she shuts his mouth. He gives up the whole plan and scheme. Black Bolt, dumbass, tries to speak for some reason, and it backfires.
Glory, that was amazing. That was
Literally,
beautiful.
I
That was
couldn't
so
believe they
cool.
did
I
it.
screamed with. I'm not screamed, but like I did one of those stupid little squeals in Glee because I was like, "Oh shit!"
Right, that's when
Because
you knew it was
honestly, Nuck If You
on.
Buck should have just started playing because she was fucking numb. up. And then the way that they looked over, because like the way I cannot wait till I get my hands on this video footage.
Oh my gosh, I'll
But
be first
when
in
they
line.
looked-
Oh yeah.
they looked over and I was like, yes, your homie is dead and y'all are still here. And then Reed's dumbass
Yes.
when
Mhm.
because you know what she would with with the Scarlet Monica wanted, right? Because at this point in time, she is knock knock, what busting down your door is Missy Elliott on the track. So
I love Stephanie. so
Yes.
much.
she asked him, do you have kids? Why not lie? Lie. You know that this bitch is looking for her children, right? She
Why?
is
Just-
right.
Like,
And then what does he
nope.
say? I do. And then as soon as she said, well, I hope that they have somebody that can look after them afterwards. I said, wow, I hope that insurance policy is good. Because if not, you're gonna have Sue out here like May because
Yeah.
Ben died. So I just
Mhm.
yeah.
I mean,
What an
that
idiot.
line was up there with like the Avatar line. It's like the writer wants to say, I'm gonna flip and kill you, but
Mhm.
they can't. So instead, they say, you know, it's a kid. They say like, I'm gonna celebrate being an only child, brother,
Yeah,
after
right.
this
Yeah.
fight, right? Like
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
on that level,
Thank
and I
God their
enjoyed
mother
the
could
hell
take
out
care
of
of
it.
them.
Like
Yeah,
incredible.
I'm glad their mother will be around to take care of them. Excuse me, and then he got her
What?
string cheese, and
he
like,
was just
"Oh, all right, well,
But then-
JK, that motherfucker's dead. But then here's where my problem is. I'm gonna say it. This is Marcus Jarrell Destin.
Do it.
I'm gonna say it. I'm a fan of a woman on woman fight. Okay.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan. But Captain Britain with a jetpack and a vibranium shield versus Wanda. and
Yo,
Yeah.
Monica.
she was ready.
I mean, was going hard with even with the whole "I can do this all day" type shit. This
Amazing.
is a witch.
You
Wong and all of these magical beings could not stop the Scarlet Witch.
you
and
watched
you have a shield and a jetpack.
you watched a grown man get turned into fettuccine, and you're like, "Yep, let's take him down." Like, are you
okay,
kidding me? Like,
because I would have been running the other way because like
I
what
would
the
be
fuck are you
like,
talking about?
okay,
So Captain Britain dying the way she did, that made sense. But when we got to Monica's mama,
I
Captain
was
Marvel,
so confused by that death.
Yeah.
that didn't make, and I knew that she was gonna die in a way that didn't make any damn
Right.
sense because they kept showing that damn statue. I thought that was gonna be how Captain Britain went down.
Right.
No,
Oh,
that is
sure.
not. No, she gets crushed by it. Because theoretically, just comic book wise, like Monica and Scarlet Witch should be able to offset each other because of the energy sources of their
That's
power,
right,
and also
right.
just given how Monica's powers work or Captain Marvel's powers work or whatever the fuck they're doing.
Right.
So it just didn't, because they were like, yeah, we'll have her on the ropes for a little bit, but no.
Yeah.
We haven't killed enough black people, so
That's what's
you're
bad.
next. Because what the fuck?
Yeah, because you
It's my girl at the temple who got like 3 lines. I was like, damn, baby, I know
like,
you
"No,
about
we
to
got
die
it."
because they let you talk.
and her and Wong was having some type of like intimate freaky moment before the death. It was
Okay, and that's when that's when it was
Yeah.
her fate was really sealed. I was like, oh no, they're not gonna allow this.
No,
I would.
no.
This is the point I would like to share.
Wong
like-
actually getting getting a little something in the temple. They said,
she
oh
rubbing his
no.
tears away, like, don't worry, baby, I'm gonna get the book and I'm gonna come back
Okay.
for you. Like, all right, like, let's not make too many promises now.
That was the point though, where I was like, "Oh no, Wanda's the villain for the whole movie." Like it was like she hadn't done
Wait,
like
right.
too much
Hold
damage
on.
at that point. I
That-
feel like, and then it was like, "Oh, here's this person who is clearly suffering and injured. I'm gonna just turn them to
But
ash."
Brian-
and I was like,
Brian- Brian-
Wanda girly,
Time-
we need to chat."
Hey, Brian.
No.
Brent,
What's up? What's up?
that was the moment.
She didn't.
This
right-
motherfucker
okay.
comes.
Feel free to correct me. I've
This
only seen the
woman
movie
comes-
once. I thought she hadn't killed anyone before that moment, or had she?
Oh no,
Right.
she
Right.
must
It's,
have
she didn't have to
Oh,
kill
no.
anybody.
Alright.
The fact that she had been hunting this child through multiverses.
Okay,
This bitch,
yeah.
the baby couldn't even sleep.
She came
She
in
didn't
like
dream.
a red storm into that, and she literally
Yeah.
just strolls up.
Yeah.
And she's,
That
"Oh,
was
you're
kind of
out?"
narratively on the head, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's
She
okay.
literally
It's
came
all
in
right. It's
like,
all
oh,
right.
I thought like
okay.
at some point it was gonna be
You was
like a
trying to
buddy
say-
wizard movie. At
Mhm.
some point it was gonna be a buddy wizard movie.
Yeah.
And like
Buddy
I
wizard
thought
movie.
I was totally wrong how this movie was gonna go. I thought it was gonna be Scarlet Witch and Strange like running from their dark alternate versions of themselves. That's
Oh,
what I thought the
okay.
movie was gonna be. And then the moment I was like, oh no, Wanda, like, hey, like, please stop. Oh no, you're just full villain. Okay. okay, you're full villain, and we're just gonna see how you redeem yourself or atone because
knew
it's
you were
gonna
gonna-
get real bad. And then like the Illuminati scene happened, I was like, oh man, she's dead. Like they're gonna try to kill her, like 100%.
She decimated Comitage.
She did.
Yeah,
They
she
had
did.
to-
That was bad.
All that recruitment that they had to do at the end. Do you know how long it takes to train a sorcerer?
Like,
She
you know
bought-
what?
she
Whole
bought-
workforce.
Can't be
depleted.
quick.
4 dead bodies back to life to torture just to get like the
Oh, God, that's,
information out.
I told. Oh, yeah, that's
she was
so
like, okay, you're
bad.
gonna come with me, and you're gonna do it because you see these guys. Well, I could just leave them there, or I could turn them into
These
weird.
motherfuckers,
Oh
they
my
just
gosh.
Wizard marionettes.
Every people we
I mean, oh my
whole
gosh.
thing.
I do want to go back to Illuminati really quick, and I promise I'll shut up about
No, you
it.
should.
But my headcanon was that Captain Marvel was like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm not dead, but you got me. Like, my hands down. You got me. Like, that's my headcanon. I know it was like she killed them all, but I was like, you can't. Nah,
Well,
I don't.
I guess
I don't buy the
assumed
Captain
she
Marvel
wasn't
death,
dead
but
either,
like
though.
I get what you're going for. Like, there's a more creative way to like contain that energy. I was surprised that she like didn't do like the thing she did in Age of Ultron when she like touches your head and it's like, boop, you're in a nightmare now. I totally thought that's how she was gonna get the Captain Marvel, like that one, but no, we're just gonna. All right, okay, cool, whatever.
I
Anyway,
feel like that was them introducing a powerful character and then not knowing how they were going to exit that powerful character
Yeah, that's what that felt like.
out. Because
Sure.
like, you can't bring all these big dogs to the table. Like Reed, all those people are easy. Those are easy skills, and like, okay, we get that.
good game, easy.
Yeah, but
This was one of those things like, you know what we should do? Audience would probably really love this if we introduce an alternate universe Captain Marvel, but she's black, but so that we can show that Wanda is the strongest Avenger.
Right.
She's expendable. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly
Because it
I
doesn't
hear
make
you.
any sense.
It doesn't make
No.
Power Cell, it just doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Well, and then Mordo got away. That's the one thing that I didn't
Yeah,
realize
'cause
until
he-
after is that
with
Mordo
He
that,
just
got away.
left out.
with that badass wig he had on, like Shamar Moore in a Tyler Perry movie.
That's
Yeah,
It's so
it's
specific.
really bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's that's the evolution of that wig.
I don't know if Marcus heard me say this in the theater, but I said I wish I had hair so I could do cool stuff with it.
Jesus.
I don't
Like
think he heard
braids?
me.
You want cornrows? I did not
Man.
hear that. You want cornrows?
I said that out loud to myself, and I wasn't sure if you heard it or not. But I was like, God, I wish I had hair so I could do shit
I
with it.
missed. I missed all of that.
I mean, you didn't want a Doctor Strange hairstyle.
Ah,
you
nope,
didn't-
Nope.
Not even
That-
like
that's-
Captain
No,
Carter.
Xavier.
give me
Xavier.
straight backs. Say,
Nope.
give me the
Okay.
ass.
He
I
want
mean,
them straight
I wanna-
up- not the
put
Allen
together.
Iversons.
I mean, hell,
Wow.
listen. If you're gonna
Oh.
go corporal, what is it? Cultural appropriation. You might as well go
Go
full.
full. Yeah,
I mean,
Go full. Don't
Go
even.
full.
I mean, I guess.
I've
Yeah.
always-
I mean,
I've always thought not to half-ass anything. So if I'm gonna,
I
I'm
mean,
gonna do
no.
it. I'm gonna do it 100%.
Yes.
oh man.
Yeah, that Illuminati scene was cool. Here's where I got a couple issues. Now, I feel like there was something to be said about the change of directors in this movie. So
Sure.
before the movie started, they had a change of
Yes.
directors because of creative differences, I think is what they said. And I do think
Classic.
that this movie was supposed to be Wanda and what is this fucker's name? Doctor
Strange?
Strange. Wanda and Doctor Strange.
Not
Doctor
sure if I
Strange's movie?
I can't remember.
Well,
He's not one of my
Okay.
favorite characters to like cling on to because he's just like, I don't know what the fuck is going
Yeah.
on. Anyway, I feel like this was originally supposed to be them two doing what Brian said, like teaming up and going. And
Yeah, a
Elizabeth
buddy
Olsen
wizard movie.
hinted at the same thing. After she got done with WandaVision, she went straight there to start filming this movie.
yeah.
And she thought it was going to be one thing and didn't know anything in the article I think we read.
Yeah, I
And
read
Yeah.
that too.
That, I think it was Variety. I can't
Yeah.
remember. Or,
Yep.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was interesting, but I do like the route this went. This is a very Raimi movie though.
Yep.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
100%. The
and
electric
I don't know
guitar,
if it's
all of it.
him, but sometimes how he handles women characters is very interesting to me.
Yeah.
And it's not a
Yeah,
good
Mary
interesting.
Jane. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess here's the thing. Like, there's a great. By the way, if you're a longtime listener or you're just joining us now, we did a WandaVision recap.
Yeah, we did.
with the Stephanie Williams, and I
We did.
really encourage you to go check it out because one of the things, because I made sure to re-listen to part of it before we talked here. Part of the thing that we had an issue with the end of WandaVision was like she was just like, oops, my bad, and then left. And we kind of covered that earlier in the episode. And so, like, I think for all of us, we were expecting, like, she was like, hey, like, that was bad, and I'm going to try to atone. Like, I thought part of this movie was going to be, like, her being like, I got to make things right, and, like, the multiverse can help, or I can help you. Like, that's where I thought this was going. And instead, to me, I guess we can get into this now. To me, it felt like, I guess the comparison I've been using is like, it felt like the writing team and the directing team like half watched WandaVision in the background.
They did. Like, no, they actually did half watch it. They didn't really watch it at all.
Right. Because there was an interview where it was like, we watched key moments, and I'm like, my man,
I'm just like, what were those moments?
I mean, you can't just watch this in the background, and like, it's because I care about these characters a lot. They mean a lot to me, and so to see and hear that, it's like, okay, like that, I'm kind of concerned. But then to have, my point is, Wanda feels like she retreads some of the same beats that she had from WandaVision.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And the only reason, and I can get into this later, but like the only reason it even halfway works is because, like, I don't know what Elizabeth Olsen did to like make herself believe like, yes, this is what this character needs to do. And she turns into, like, her performance, like, that's what we're talking about. Like I mean, Doctor Strange almost feels like a passenger at times, but that's the only reason it works. But it's like
that's kind of one of my notes about the movie, is that, like, for a movie called Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, this felt like everybody else. And I'm not really sure. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. I'm just not really sure where his character development and arc is.
Oh, I mean, okay. And I hear you.
Let me back that up. Like, he starts off the beginning of the movie saying, like, he's not happy because he lost Christine. And then he just does that. It's almost like it never gets brought up again. Like it. And then at the end of it, I'm just not sure where he's supposed to be here. Because at the very end, he grows a third eye and hops from like a fucking portal to nowhere. And
with Charlize Theron.
With Charlize Theron. And so I was just
kind of there for the Marvel check in the first place.
It was just, this felt like a very much like, yeah, he's in it, but I feel like they're doing this thing with Doctor Strange where, like, after his origin movie, the rest of the times he shows up are to be like let me explain to you what's happening.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that. And then, like, in this movie, it's funny, he is supposed to work as like this foil to Wanda, but it doesn't really work out that way because of Wanda's treatment. Like the way So did I absolutely love Wanda going single white female? Absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
I enjoyed the fuck out of that.
Yes.
But
it's a great way
Brian's
to put it.
point, she retread a lot of stuff that she already did in WandaVision.
Yep.
Marvel already did this again with Loki during his series. Retread and do all that work again. So they got her doing the same thing, and it just sucked because, like, if they would have, because listen, I think that we can get a Wanda that is a full villain. Like, I think that's fine. If that's the direction they want to go in, I'm perfectly okay with that. But because her villainy is just, it feels like, ooh, I did this boo-boo in Westview, but I didn't do it good enough because I didn't really understand my witchery.
Right.
But now I've gone and I've gotten this dusty book, and now I fully understand it. So let me do that again, but worse.
Yes.
Right.
This time I'll just
get
it.
Right.
Yeah. And again, like, that's fine, but just bad writing, and it still doesn't give her much agency anyway, because she's still emotional. And the reason why she's still very emotional because they have Doctor Strange there to be her foil, because he gets to use the Darkhold and use it in a very clinical fashion. Like, there is no overcoming for him, because men don't have emotions. So why would the Darkhold,
of course,
like, clearly y'all are robots. It wouldn't all you would get is a third eye.
It tracks.
That's it.
Yeah. No, you said it so eloquently, Steph, more than I could, and I think that it's such a missed opportunity, and I feel like it's clumsy writing. Like, it feels like a half-baked idea, and it feels like the script needed like one or two more passes to me. I mean, but
that's it.
They just needed to pick up on the themes that they introduced in the first act. Because Wanda says this, Wanda makes this comment to Strange, and it was in the trailers. It's like, why is it that you get to break the rules and nothing happens? But if I break the rules, I'm a villain. And then what they did is they essentially said, like, yeah, that's exactly what happens. That the whole movie was like, and like,
but then hold on, like, because but then the thing is, because like a villain is supposed to be so convicted in whatever it is that they want to do, like they are the hero of their story, fine. But when she says that, I'm like, well, yeah, him having to use the Darkhold to stop you because you're trying to kill the child, actually, that does make him a hero, girl. It does, because you want to sacrifice this child to get your children that did not exist in your universe because you willed it into magic. Because she said something like, well, all mommies, isn't that something that all moms do or something, when Strange was like, your kids were made of magic? And I was like, ma'am, I said Happy Mother's really Day. Don't know. I was like, I'm not really sure, but all right. And then she said, I am not a monster, I am a mom. I counted 3 times,
at least 3.
I'm so happy you said it.
The first time, whatever, I'm gonna give you that. Okay. I'm still thinking about the Xenomorph Queen and how she is probably a better mother than you, but that's fine.
It's hard, but it's true.
She is a monster, but she is also a mother. Okay, trying to keep that colony alive.
She cares.
But the second and third time, I was like, I get it, Wanda. It's not gonna change anything. I get it. It changes nothing. And then I just
that's like saying the customer is always right.
Basically what it was.
Saying that shit, please.
Jesus, I'm sorry. And then like she takes over, possesses another Wanda. She doesn't give a damn about her other self. She is really on a selfish streak, and that's fine. Again, whatever, that's fine. But and this is really nitpicky, and this is me being very not serious, but she didn't have no Crocs at the front of the door. Because
single mom Wanda, no Crocs. I mean, where's the line?
I have a pair of Crocs ready to go at the front of the door.
Yes,
you gotta have some.
You never know.
There's 2 pairs of shoes. There's depending on where I'm going. If I'm coming in, I got my house shoes there. If I'm leaving, I got my Crocs there. I don't understand.
Yes.
So it was that I found that very unnerving. I'm like, well, why were you hobbling around? Because you cut her whole feet up. Because I'm just like, if you, Wanda baby, you spent all that time with the Darkhold, and this is the best that you could do. It still makes her seem very incompetent, because it's not a thing of, well, she's not that bad because all she wanted was her kids. I'm like, no, it is that bad because it's all as far as she could think.
Right.
Yeah. You got a whole book.
A whole
big ass book.
Right.
And a shrine dedicated to you.
Yeah.
That was that was a lot. I mean,
that shrine was interesting. I was very much like, she didn't turn around at all. Like, she didn't look at that big like picture of herself on the wall and go like, maybe I'm doing this wrong. And then there are literal demons there, and you don't stop and ask yourself like, hold on a minute, I've never seen these before. They look pretty menacing.
Like, this
maybe I shouldn't do this.
What's so painful is like she accepts the mantle of Scarlet Witch and everything that entails as part of her journey of like grief and sadness and WandaVision, and then it's like, I don't know. It's like, then she finds the temple. She's like, what's all this? This is cool. And it's like, we talked about, like,
for me,
all I could think of was like Agatha Harkness being like, we literally just talked about this.
So,
like, we talked about this in Jersey.
Just this one thing, and then I will be quiet. WandaVision, that's what made me think that WandaVision should have ended with her and her going under Agatha's like her student, right? Because Agatha's like, hey bitch, the red, let's mix it with the purple. We'll get a little something, a little cute mix, but I'm going to teach you how to use both chaos and dark magic. So then by the time we meet her in Multiverse of Madness, we have this Wanda who has full control over her powers, and she isn't doing goofy things that she did in this movie outside of the badass moments, because she was making unwise decisions throughout this whole fucking movie.
Throughout the whole thing.
Nicest way to say it, really.
I I don't know whose fault that is. It just feels inconsistent. Like if you
it does.
watch WandaVision and you've been keeping up and that was the last thing that you saw, and then you get here. I don't want to blame Raimi for this, but he just has
this is
a
a producer
habit
choice.
though. Yeah, I mean, but also the way that he directs the first 5 minutes of this movie is I leaned over to Doug and I was like, I guess we couldn't get past something about the love interest for me just did not work.
I hated that.
And this whole thing with him and what was her name? Christine. Like,
That's because it doesn't work in the first movie. That's why.
It barely worked it was the same thing with Thor and his love
Jane
interest.
Foster.
They always introduced these motherfuckers, and then the only time that it really worked was Iron Man and Pep. That was the only time that it really, really worked for me. And so for you to keep referring back to this goddamn love interest between you and Christine, and no matter what universe, I always seem to fuck up the bag. Like, yes, sir. Like, yes, you continuously fuck up the bag. Yes, we get it. But she's married, so you can't go back to her. So you hop into a dimension with this random blonde chick who sliced the fabric of space and time in the middle of New York, and you and your third eye, which I feel like is I
hated that so much.
It's a thing about.
I loved it.
It was something about that shit with the guitar going off and you see the fucking eyeball pop up and he hops in the dark cosmos.
If this went into a full Motley Crue, solo of him like diving into the dark dimension, Brian would have like shit a brick.
Oh, I would like
he would have loved
my heart,
every
and
minute
it's
of
just the end credits is him and Charlize there and just going through
just
weird Steve
zipping and bopping through different
worlds,
dimensions.
like,
you would have loved that shit.
I mean, but that's the thing about Doctor Strange that I've enjoyed about the MCU is like I never read Doctor Strange as like this guy who like he's the smartest or like he always knows what's going on. Doctor Strange is the guy, like it's the guy you knew like in school when he was like, hey, I found a bunch of these fireworks and I don't know where they came from, but I'm gonna light them off. And you're like, that sounds really dangerous. And he's like, yeah, but it's gonna be like super cool. Do you want to come with? And you're like, this sounds really dangerous, but that does sound cool. Like that's the guy Doctor Strange is. He's like he's had formal training to be a doctor and he's polite about it. But like every time
hold on, is he polite about it?
Is he?
No, corrects people all the time.
He's not polite.
Like,
let me retract that. I guess he's not polite. He knows how to be polite and actively chooses not to. And like he's just always surprised when the bill comes due. And that's what I enjoy about Doctor Strange is this hubris of like, I'm gonna traverse the multiverse and it's gonna be fun. Oh no, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Like it just that always works for me with Doctor Strange. Like same thing with Infinity War. Like I'm on a spaceship. We'll get Thanos. Oh no,
he even has that moment. He has that moment in the wedding where the other doctor's like, "Are you sure there was no other way to do it?" He was like, "Yep, I checked. There was no other way to do that." Like,
but he's also oddly good with kids. Like
he is because I like their dynamic.
I love those. I that's one of the things I like about Doctor Strange and how they've written him is. When Spider-Man came through his door asking for help, he was like, you know what, kid, don't you worry about it. I got you. When America came through the door, like, not willingly, but like she came through the door, he would at least was able to give her life lessons and reinforce like, hey, you got this. It'll be okay. It's not in my hands. It's in yours.
So with you bringing that up then, so maybe that is his arc, but his arc is something that continues, but it still doesn't work, Doug, because it's one that continues from No Way Home. So you would have had to have seen that.
That's a good point.
Seen the ramifications of him not thinking to encourage Peter prior to him asking him to like, do the spell or whatever. And then he gets to a point where he's like, actually, I cannot fix everyone's problems. I can empower them to like fix their own problems.
Yeah.
So,
that's great.
So like technically he does have an arc, but you gotta follow it between those two movies.
He doesn't have to hold the knife in those situations. He told Peter, like it's in your hands. You can't balance the two. He's telling people the same shit. I feel like he should be telling himself, but he's telling it to the kids.
And maybe that is his arc, right? Like maybe that end where he tells Christine, like, no, like I actually need your help to keep the ghosts away while I'm trying to execute this spell. Maybe that's it. Maybe there's something there.
She didn't do a good job.
But I feel like there's got to be a better way to execute.
I mean,
no, I agree, Doug. Because again, if it's that or it's what I just said, where you got to follow it from another movie, that doesn't. Yeah, that's not working for someone whose movie it is. If he was a
Yes.
side character, sure, I'll give you that. But
Right.
he's a main character. So what are we doing?
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
Doctor Strange hold his own movie if there was nothing else? Nothing
Well,
else. Involved,
he
none of the
tried.
cameos?
I mean,
I-
I liked the first Doctor Strange. I watched it on the plane when I was traveling this week. Like, and I
Did he do
remember
that by
like going like,
himself?
yeah,
Because
I
he-
enjoyed this, but
He
Yeah,
had
he's by
he
himself.
had Baron Mordo with him the entire time. I feel like he didn't
No,
do
you're
that by
right,
himself.
Marcus.
oh fuck,
Yeah.
yep.
I mean, his
Well-
finale though, it sticks out to me again
Mhm,
because it
mhm.
was like it wasn't the traditional Marvel third act. I have a soft spot for those, so like it works for
true.
me on that regard. But someone I
Yeah.
can't remember who said this, but he is a great supporting character. Like he's a phenomenal supporting character
I
for this
agree.
reason. I don't know. Like I think to me, what it feels like is Marvel seeing their strengths and they're just being like, people love Wanda. Strange is here, but he's going to be better with her. We'll put peanut butter and chocolate together, and we'll see what happens. And that's what it feels like it's going. So it definitely feels that way, where it's like Doctor Strange on his own is just kind of like, we're gonna go on a mystical adventure. Come
Yeah.
along, kids, and it's fine.
A
But I don't
magic
think.
school bus.
Right.
Yep.
Doctor
Oh
Strange.
yes,
Yep,
it's a magic
that's what
school
it
bus
is.
type
That's
situation, which
exactly what that
is
is.
fun. But
I mean, I
I
want it.
agree.
Hey, that's fine. Yeah,
I
that's
do like
fine.
how he just randomly buried a dead body like up top in New York, and nobody was
No.
gonna
Classic.
flip.
You know
Doctor
what? I
Strange.
will say that they got me there because it didn't dawn on me when that happened. Like, oh, that's how we get the
Yes.
zombie thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
I did not connect those dots.
I
at
didn't
first.
either.
No, it's just
Yeah.
right over
No,
my head.
I try not to watch a ton of trailers either. Like I think I
Same.
watched the trailer like 2 or 3 times. Like I'm good. Like the Super Bowl
Yep.
spot, I think is what I did. And then as soon as all of it happened, I was like, this is wonderful. I'm so into this right now.
Yeah.
Can
Can somebody explain the third eye though? Like, because that's the one hanging Chad from all of this that like he suddenly and that I just didn't get it and it just completely flew over my head. So Brian or Steph or Marcus, if somebody can explain that shit to me.
It's a comic. I mean, like they
Yeah.
just like, hey, this he gets it. I can't remember, and if it's because of Darkhold, I don't think that it is, but it's a thing that happens.
Okay.
So
You
My-
know what? That the explanation of because comics, that's fine. That's
mean,
fine.
yeah, I mean, at this point,
Yeah.
I took it like when Maggie and I were talking about it, we took it as the Darkhold, but if it wasn't like explicit. But I feel like that was like the Darkhold did a lot of heavy lifting in this movie.
Yeah.
But like,
like it might have. I hope it got a credit. That
yeah, it should get its
episode
own
of
main
Ashanti.
character.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, Ashanti, not you in this movie.
There was-
Ashanti.
that's all
I mean,
could
this is
think
another
of.
Sam Raimi movie where a book is a main plot device.
The
I mean-
Ashanti book.
Yep, the Ashanti book. Yep.
I haven't thought about Ashanti in years, and then I was like,
Okay,
oh,
I
that's
was
not what
she
they
made it
said.
to the
Doctor Strange.
multiverse before J-Lo did.
Before Ja
Oh,
Rule.
man.
What would Ja Rule think at a time like this? Oh,
Ja, we need Ja.
Where's
Anyway,
Ja?
I interpreted it as the Darkhold, and that's only because like it felt so heavy-handed when the Illuminati was like, "We had a Strange and we killed him
Right.
because he did
Right.
the Darkhold," and I was like, "Man, that seems really harsh. Y'all seem like jerks." And then they kept talking, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you all are jerks. You killed
Okay,
his
so I
friend."
had to just double check real quick because if any like super comic nerds will listen to y'all and want to like get tweeted at.
Yes.
So that third eye, again, it does come from the comics, but it was like this little clam that it looks like.
Excellent.
But it
Excellent.
it's a mystic eye that just kind of bloop. So I made it sound cooler saying that it was from the third eye, but but it's supposed to be the eye of Agamotto. So
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
but he wears it as a necklace now. So anyway,
Yep.
it's a
That would have
thing.
been cooler to put it as a necklace instead of it popping up in the middle of his forehead.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
yep.
I
Mhm.
mean,
Because I remember that from Spider-Man. Because I was wondering, what does he keep in the necklace now?
oh,
The
Because
time
that's right
stone
there.
isn't in the
right.
it ain't in there.
Right. Yeah. That's why when he opened it up and tried to open that like secret door, I was like, oh, well, this makes sense why he can't open it. Because, yeah, I was like, oh, that's why it's golden because it's not the time stone. Anyway,
whack. They didn't
Yeah.
dive into that.
No.
Third Eye was weird,
It was
but
a little
it was fun.
Because you can't use it as like one of your post-credit scenes to be like, hey, it's okay. You think I'm scared? I got a third eye. Like, what the fuck does that mean? I don't know what that means.
I mean,
also, I'd like to talk about the poor barista walking down Queens who gets sucked into the dark dimension because this bitch isn't paying attention about where she's cutting shit. Because you know that David is going to be late for his shift, and then he stumbles into the dark dimension because he's not paying attention and in a hurry.
Because people in the background are still just walking around.
Walking by.
She just sliced the fabric of space and time
also,
and walked around that motherfucker. Like, wait a minute, hold on.
I
There's
mean,
no gravitational pull.
look, if you're in New York at this point, like for people that watched Hawkeye, like your city's been invaded by aliens. You've seen some stuff. Maybe that's just normal to them now.
You're
It's
just
just like, oh,
desensitized to it now.
blonde lady just cut fabric of space and time. All right.
You're seeing that, right? I just
She's not like subtly dressed. This woman is dressed in hot pink, top to bottom. She looks like she's coming out of an 80s video game.
I mean,
you're talking about Charlie. Go ahead.
No, but I'm saying like, that we were like, well, full comic book. Let's
I mean, they went. I think that is what it feels like Marvel is trying to do in like phase 4 is all of the comic book stuff that we love, we're just gonna keep it. All the things that you find ridiculous, I feel like Marvel is like, we've made a name for ourselves in grounding these heroes. Now what we're going to do is we're going to up the ante. You want to see Wolverine in some yellow tights and claws and shit? That's coming soon. Like, we're going to go we're going to go all out.
Yep. Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Hey, that's fine. Because they had Wanda looking like she was in what is it, Marvel Ultimate Alliance? So they show her on the screen fucking up the Ultrons.
Yes.
I just kept waiting for little red and blue orbs to pop out of them.
Yep.
And for her to collect them and like just
tap
little
X
gauge
for quick time.
Yep. That's right.
Ultimate Alliance was a really good game.
Oh
I love that. Hey, this is fun.
I've been talking about buying the third one for a while. Now I will.
I did. It was great.
It's a good time.
All right. I'm doing that later.
You can play it on your Switch, Brian.
Just go. Do that.
I do want to play the speculation game. Because it's a fun game I like to play.
Why not?
Which is, where are we going next? So, I mean, this is in terms of phase 4 movies, this is after No Way Home. And so we're deep into it now.
Is this 5 or we're still in 4?
5 or 5?
I think we're still in 4.
I think we're still in 4.
It feels like we're still in 4.
I'll Google it real quick. Y'all keep talking.
But my question is where do you think we're going from here? Because I think there's a couple different ways you could go with it. One thing Marcus and I talked about was potentially Secret Wars, where the two universes are battling each other. That certainly feels like a good fit, but I'm kind of curious about what you all think.
I like that because I think of them introducing the whole idea of incursions.
Yep.
I did love the visuals for that when they were showing the what happens when that's a thing. But
cool.
Secret Wars, maybe because of that. Did they cast somebody as the Beyonder? I feel like they did.
I don't
maybe
know.
I'm lying. I might be lying, y'all.
Maybe
I have
not.
no idea.
I don't know.
But it would make sense if they went that way. They're already doing they are doing Secret Wars. Are they really actually? Am I mixing up shit?
Are they doing Secret Invasion or Secret Wars?
Secret Invasion. It's Invasion. Yes. Okay. Sorry, I was getting my secrets mixed up. But
there's a lot.
I think introducing the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
There's a lot that they could do with that. But to be quite honest, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I wonder if Kevin even knows.
Like, are we?
I want the 80s.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So I say 80s because that's just fun. That one reminds me more so. If they ever did introduce the X-Men, I would love if they did like a Mojoverse type situation. But
really
if we
cool.
never get that, Secret Wars could kind of be that.
Yeah.
Because you just got some being who was curious about some things. Put them on this planet and said, have at it.
Man,
that was literally all he did. He was like, I wonder, is good really good and is bad?
And things get out of hand so fast in Secret Wars. And I love it for it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Brian or Marcus, thoughts
So-
on where they're headed?
I just wanted to clarify really quick. So the Phase 4 movies, as I got this from Cinema Blend. So it's basically everything we've had so far: Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man, No Way Home. Now we've had Doctor Strange, Multiverse. So Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Quantumania, and then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and then I'm sorry, one more, The Marvels, which I believe is the Captain Marvel sequel. So like, I guess we're like halfway through Phase 4, if I'm understanding this right.
It's a lot.
It's
a lot left.
It feels long.
And we've got
They're just doing stuff.
And
Yeah,
got
we got Miss Marvel next month. Then we've got Thor: Love and Thunder after that. So looking 2 months out.
Wait, wait, Miss Marvel premieres next month?
June.
Yeah,
in June.
Damn, okay. And when is She-Hulk?
oh shit.
Oh no,
I didn't see She-Hulk soon.
looking at their formula, it's probably in August. Like looking at how they're doing it, because it seems to be that
Wow.
they're doing this like show movie rotation.
Yeah, I don't think they have.
And then we have Ironheart still.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had a lot. Okay.
Yeah. We have a lot.
Yeah.
So they could go anywhere with this. I do think that we're probably going to see more variants, which is why I think Secret Wars makes a lot of sense. But I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know where the fuck they going, to be honest with you. I don't know. I thought I had Marvel fatigue before I watched this, but what it really turned out to be is I'm being impatient because I haven't gotten any answers from what I've watched so far.
I mean,
Well,
honestly,
Marcus, I don't know if you're gonna get them ever. So
That's what and like this kind of answered a lot of things, but didn't
It
answer a
also
lot of
left
shit
a
that was
lot of under
happening.
things unanswered. Yep.
So
yeah.
and Doug made a point like maybe they could do this once every phase. Like, hey, this is the movie where you need to watch. You're going to get all of your answers in Multiverse of Madness because you keep saying the word multiverse in Loki and saying it again in Spider-Man and saying it again in all these goddamn movies. And then we get here and didn't really get an answer. We just got somebody who can control the multiverse. And then you end it with, hey, we fucked up the Dark Cosmos. Like you just introduced something else for me to pay attention to. So I'm kind of tired and it's like, fuck, bro. Like, and then I think about Black Panther just randomly and I'm like, is this a memorial or is this going to push us forward? Like, I don't know.
That's a great question.
Ryan Coogler,
And then like where do they fit
wish you
into
all the
that
strength.
too?
And where do you
Coogler
fit?
we trust.
Is there a new Black Panther? How do you fit them into this world that you've now expanded 1,000 times over? Like Black Panther and Cosmic, how does that? They just introduced Wakanda. The last time we talked to these motherfuckers was like, Wakanda's now open for business.
Yeah.
One of my
And, like,
favorite
they
comic. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say like because they could do the space thing with the Wakandans because that's been
Yes.
introduced in the comics. So like that's fine, but that's a hell of a jump
That's
from
a
the first one
jump.
to this one. And I'm not saying they can't do it, but like we gotta have an empathy. I'm like I need to get from who's the new Black Panther or what the fuck we're doing to that.
How do they fit into the Avengers? Who's bringing all these heroes together? Is it Wong? Is it who? Like, how do you do this? Because Tony was the answer to a lot of this shit in post, like before.
Mhm.
Tony was like, money. I'm gonna throw money at it, and this is how we gonna fix this shit, or I'm gonna make this shit look sexy. Moving forward, who is it that's gonna like bring because Cap obviously has this ongoing thing where the Captain America's influence is gonna be in the MCU throughout because Wong made a little Cap shield when the shit was falling off the mountain, and it was like, oh, that was cool. And they played Cap's song in the background, and like you see the shield on the Cap on Lady Liberty. Who is gonna bring all these motherfuckers together? You've introduced 8,000 characters to me. Now, who's doing what?
It does feel like it's
we
gotta
forgot
be
about the Eternals
and the Eternals.
Oh yeah. I mean, the Eternals.
It's 10 of them.
We don't even know what happened to most of them.
And they be fighting with each other. It's 18,000.
Either that or they're banging in the desert. Like they're doing one of the two. I mean, they can't.
That's how I knew they were robots.
They did.
That was the
lifelessness of that scene.
Like no one is
nobody was itching.
No, not a blanket down, nothing.
Yeah,
that
I have to say, I remember the hype for that scene, and I was like, okay, like let's do this. And I watched it, and I was like, that was not it. That was
doing that shit. They were like, the Marvel's gonna go somewhere it's never gone before. We're gonna discover the passions of sex. And you watch the scene, and all I could think about was they did that shit insane. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Which is like, what a waste of Gemma Chan and also
Yes.
James Marsden.
Right.
Because like those, well, not
Yes.
James Marsden. I forget the guy's name.
Oh,
James
Get him
Marsden.
not
Marsden.
James
The
Marsden.
British version of James.
Yes,
Marsden.
the
James
British
Marsden.
version of him.
The
But
Game of Thrones guy.
what a-
Yeah.
Yes, but what a waste of two very attractive people. You
Yes.
just wasted this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, it did lead to one of my better TikToks, so that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, well, that part right there.
well, I mean,
that part right there. But
Yeah, that's. I'll take that.
I don't know. I feel like I think the other thing, not to get all businessy about it, but like it enters into
please.
my calculation though of
Please.
just like I feel like the first three phases, it was like Chris Hemsworth, Robert Downey, and Chris Evans. It was like y'all are making 7 movies whether you like it or not, and
Yeah.
like they just like, and I didn't realize this. Robert Downey Jr. didn't make any other movies. Like he just was Iron Man for
Yeah.
6-7 years, and it's like.
Yeah, because
That's
Sherlock
a lot.
Holmes was right before that. Oh, and he was Dr.
Yeah,
Dolittle,
like,
which is
yeah.
on
something.
IMDb, it's just Iron Man appearances, and it's like, I don't know if that's factoring into it because people like obviously, right. The next question for a lot of people is like, are we going to see Wanda again? And I'm like, yo, there's no body. Like, come on, first rule here, no body. And there was a giant red burst of energy.
Yeah,
She's off feeling bad about herself somewhere, probably.
don't
And then
think she's
Elizabeth
feeling bad at all.
Olsen said something like, "Oh, I signed contracts for years, not projects." And I'm like, "Lady, I don't know what that means. Like,
Well,
am I
on
going to
top
see
of
you
that,
again?"
She also
Like-
said she also did an interview where she said she really wants to say the "No More Mutants" line on screen. Like she really
yeah.
wants to say that, and I get
So-
it. Like that's
your character
crowning
can't
it.
do that now.
No,
Right.
it can't. She
Right.
She can't
just
do it
can't
now. She's done enough.
she's done so much. So I don't know. I feel like Secret Wars is the easy answer. I agree. I
It
just want
has
to
to
put
be.
that out there. I mean, obviously Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Madam Hydra or not Madam Hydra, she's doing something. That's the only antagonist that I can really latch onto right now. And obviously we have the Eternals. I can't even remember
doing
the name,
something.
but that guy.
Oh, like they had to go off to go see one of the Celestials or what?
Yes.
They're on a field trip.
Right.
Yep.
And I was
Another-
talking about it with Maggie, and
another
it's
Madden
like
school
maybe
bus trip.
like the Celestials like prove to me humanity is worth saving by Secret Wars. I don't know, but like
Well,
that-
Maggie could be very right. That I can very much see them doing that.
like credit to her, like because she was like, yeah, there's a giant celestial being out there that like we have no idea what their power level is, and then you're telling me there's a whole other team being developed, so it could be this thing of like, here's the Dark Avengers or who, Madam Hydra Avengers, and I don't know. I got no clue. There's
Well, I mean,
nothing
like-
really to grab onto here.
I think the other thing is like, and I don't expect any clarity from Thor, but we are going to see multiple variants of a Thor. Like, I don't expect a version of it, but if we are expected to see like different
about the
variants of
movie.
that same character,
Honestly,
You're right, Doug. It could be. Wow, my head. I'm
Especially-
tired.
especially
Yeah.
if they go with the comic book version of Gore, which he's walking around the multiverse just offing gods left and
Yeah.
right, which we could see happen. So I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
Damn.
Like, a part of me thinks like Taika Waititi just made this movie. He's like, y'all want another one? All I did was listen to Guns N' Roses, and we got Natalie Portman jacked. Enjoy this movie. Like, and honestly, I'm okay if that's the movie. Like, it's
She
I
not-
mean, I'm.
She did curls and push-ups, and that was
like,
it.
it was fine.
Curls and push-ups.
Oh my god. I'll see it. I'm gonna see it.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Why would
yeah.
I not see it? But
I mean,
Right.
it looks like a
That's
ton
the
of fun.
But I've heard Taika Waititi say like, yeah, sometimes you just give them an idea and then they say yes, and you're like, oh fuck, now I have to make it. And so I feel like there is a small part
Oh,
of this
I-
that was like,
yeah.
yeah.
I understand
Um,
that deeply.
I was gonna say, can you relate, Steph?
Can you
Yeah,
relate?
yeah. It's been a couple times. I'm like, oh shit, I was just kidding. You really won't.
You really want that? Okay.
The only other thing I really want though is, and I feel like there's an angle for it, is I do want like I would like another crack at Ghost Rider.
Oh,
That's
really?
coming.
I feel like I want
I would
another
like
crack
that.
at Ghost Rider.
Okay.
I like Ghost Rider. as a
Y'all got me on
character.
board.
I feel like we got
I wa-
demons in
they
this.
got
so
to.
there's an adjacency
They have
here, there somewhere. So
Midnight Suns has to happen. Like
Yeah.
We need it.
that
They
would
got
be
Blade
fun.
there.
Blade.
Yes, do it. Yeah.
Moon Knight, Daredevil.
Oh
you
wait, they
get the
got that
rights to
whole
Daredevil.
video game coming out too, don't they?
They do. They
do.
do. Yeah.
Oh shit.
In the style of XCOM strategy, which I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna work, but I'm gonna play the hell out of
Yeah.
it. So
I haven't
sure.
watched gameplays of it, but
Yeah, I'm not good at video games. That's why I'd be like, ooh, yeah, let me just watch somebody play this. That's me.
Hey, nothing wrong with
That's
that.
perfect.
great.
That's
because
perfect.
I have a limited, Elden Ring.
Oof.
That's
I was
not for
watching people
me.
play it. It gave me a headache just
Sounds
watching.
like a great way for me to break something. Like, I hate this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think my husband spent like an hour or so trying to kill something or whatever, and then died
Wow.
with the yeah.
Ooh.
And I was like,
Shout out to him. I can't.
what is going
Wow.
on out there? Like, what are we doing?
Y'all okay?
He's at full on
Like,
real war.
I was like, wow, I really married you, huh? Oh, this is definitely.
Those are wonderful
I was
moments.
like, you know
Those are
what? But
very fun moments.
Yeah. Well, I can't talk.
stick
Like, I'm
beside
reading
him.
comics, so it's fine.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's
right.
that's excellent.
Yeah. I do want to. Any other final thoughts on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness?
The movie is good.
Yes.
I was at a banquet random. I was at one of the ceremony banquets for graduation, and Mason had called me. My little brother Mason had called me.
Shout out to Mason.
And in the middle of the banquet, he called me 3 times back to back. And I was like, this is an emergency. I need to go answer the fucking phone. Like, excuse me real quick. Sitting at the table with the president and everything. So I walk out, I'm like, Mason, are you okay? Are you okay? Yeah, I just want to say, if you got a chance to see Multiverse of Madness, you need to go see it. Like, you need to spend 3 hours of
Shout
time.
out to Mason.
Go see it. Are y'all going to talk about it on the podcast? So, Mason, I'm telling you, we talked about it.
Yes, we did.
We did.
Williams.
Oh, we talked all of it.
We talked about it. So.
Mason is like
it's a good movie. I feel like if you want to see something that is just entertaining, this is one I literally thought after the movie I would buy it on DVD or like somewhere streaming because people don't do DVDs a lot anymore. But I would do it just so I could rewatch and like live through how fun it was. It is very much a Sam Raimi movie, but what he does is he makes these movies that are rewatchable for some reason or another. It's either so corny or it's just done well enough. Like, I don't know. He just has this certain touch. So it is a good movie. It's one of Marvel's, I think, better movies within the past couple of years for me personally. Ragnarok and maybe Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only thing I want to say is I just enjoyed how it chose to be like different. Yeah, I didn't like all the creative decisions, but I did enjoy seeing Wanda. Like, there's a reason that she's a beloved character, and so even though I didn't agree with everything, it was really cool to she just ripped everything up, and that was a ton of fun to see. And this movie does have distinction within itself, and like stands out for me. So like, it's fun. I can't wait to see it again.
Brian, Brian, I love how sometimes all a movie has to do is to just break the mold a little bit. And you're like, it took risks. I'm here for it.
I do.
I love it.
I love it. Like, genuinely, I love that.
Like,
Wanda looked dead ass at the camera and broke the fourth wall and was like, shit. Like, you see me out here? You see me? You see this?
It reminded me of like a Disney ride a little bit when like the characters are like, it's time to go on the mystery mine, and they like look right at you, and it kind of felt like, I don't know if that was Elizabeth Olsen or whoever, and it was like, no, look at the camera. I want you to scare him a little bit. And it's like, Wanda, I don't have your children. Whatever anyone tells you,
don't come out here.
Where they are.
Torture a teenager for me, please.
Keep fucking them up. Don't come out here.
You don't need to come for me. You don't want to do that. Yeah. Well, I did want to leave some time here as we kind of close things out for Stephanie to walk us through what's happening with Nubia and just some things on that end, because it's been an awesome ride so far. I loved Nubia and the Amazons and this coronation special. I haven't had a chance to read it, but I'm excited about it. So
I hope you get DC, Warner Brothers, Discovery Plus, whoever the fuck is in charge. I hope that you get the chance to do a Nubia TV show, cartoon, animated movie, whatever it is, because this run has been the origin for that character, and I don't think that there's any other route that they could take without referencing you and your team's like birth of this character. So when that happens, I'm going to be so fucking excited to know that you had this major hand in developing this character. So I just wanted to say that before, because like it is really, really fucking good. It has so much potential, especially with DC and everything they're trying to do moving forward with the diversity in characters and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. I didn't even know that Green Lantern movie was coming out. So like they are doing stuff, right? So I'm excited, but I appreciate that. I don't know. Like I think I am still trying to wrap my mind around the fact that this time last year I was still either prepping for to write issue 1 or writing it. And now I'm writing the second series. Like that's just really that's a lot. Deeply humbled, but I could have never imagined that like they talked about us possibly getting this book, like me possibly getting like a second book, but I was like, whatever. We'll see. Because I didn't want to hang my hat on that. But then when it was like, so what do you want to do with the second book? I'm like,
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, you are for real, right? So that was that moment where I was like, oh shit, like let's figure this out. So thankfully, because I don't know, was trying to will things to existence in her Nubia and the Amazons. I tried to like write it as though there would be more, because I know it was like a lot of folks think like, well, it's kind of written like this isn't a limited series, and I'm like, in my mind, it wasn't. I wanted to continue her story in any way that I could. So I'm happy that that's happening. So
that's really cool.
Nubia, Queen of the Amazons, June 7th. And then also she has a story in DC Pride, which is also out on June 7th. So I got that and possibly more Nubia on the way. I mean, hell, maybe one day we will be talking about Nubia and the Amazons, the animated movie.
We will.
Heck yes.
I want it.
Yeah.
I want it.
I want to take a minute really quickly to say one of the things that I appreciated the most about reading the run of it, which is these panels here that offer someone who doesn't understand what the backstory is a glimpse into what the backstory is. Because I got to these moments and I was like, thank fucking God for these pages. Because there are moments where I just Wonder Woman was never something I read growing up.
Yeah.
So my entry level was 0. So having those there to be like, hold on, just so you remember, this is what this is. I was like, thank God I know what's going on.
Well, and everything y'all are doing with like the Well of Souls, everything with that, I think it's so creative, and it's I don't know, kind of healing in a way. Like it's just I don't know, it's just I love what y'all are doing with it, and I love reading it. So I will absolutely read more, and I think the hardcover, right? The hardcover's coming.
Yeah, that's out
right?
December 6th.
Sweet.
How cool is that? Because books don't normally get hardcovers.
Yeah, so I will definitely plan on getting that hardcover. And so definitely check that out, folks.
So I got other stuff on the way.
Fantastic.
But there's more stuff on the way. So whenever that gets announced, but
sweet.
I am writing all the comics that they asked me to write, and some of my own that I'm in the process of writing. So
phenomenal.
That's super cool. And I'm glad you have the space to do both, because it's nice to do like the big things that are like someone's asking for it, but you still have an opportunity to do things that you want to do, which are also super cool.
Also,
one for me, one for you.
Right. Exactly right.
And I do like, I didn't know, I met Stephanie through Brian through Twitter, and she was like always on Twitter and doing her thing up there. But what I have liked personally is the sprinkles of Stephanie that we do get on Elon Musk's Twitter, because
a very important distinction.
Because Lord knows what the hell is about to turn into now. But but I do like that when you do pop on the timeline, it is, it's a breath of fresh air to see Stephanie on the timeline doing something fun, doing something dope, introducing something, and then just people supporting it, and it's like, man, like. That's really cool as fuck to go to a comic book store and see your name on this. Is like, damn, like that's crazy. I'm happy. Big supporter.
Again, thank you. I just deeply humbled. Meeting Doug at C2E2 was really fucking cool.
Yeah,
super random.
So
super random, but awesome.
It was yes. So having like opportunities like that, it just. I'm just very appreciative. I'm going to NYCC and I'm like, not on my dime. So the fact that they're flying me out and we'll be handling everything, you know what I mean?
Phenomenal.
Like that is really cool. So I am
That's awesome.
just a day at a time.
That's right.
So when I gotta work weekends, sometimes I'm not a fan of that. But in the grander scheme of things, like it's okay.
For sure.
Right
Awesome.
on.
Cool. Brian or Marcus, anything that you all like to plug?
I'm just gonna say, make sure you check out the hardcover of new. I think it's. I want to get the title right here. Nubia, Queen of the Amazons. So yeah, that is. You can pre-order that. I'm looking at the page right now. I know it's on Amazon and other local book retailers, I'm sure too. But yeah, check that out.
Awesome.
Yep, I'll double that. Check that out. Nubia, Queen of the Amazons. Check it out. Pre-order. Do all of that. Also, follow the mantra. Never offended, always humble. Also, go stream Maxed. Max is at like 3,200 stream. I have no idea.
I was just gonna say
who's listening to this album, but you motherfuckers
it's me.
Really listening to this.
No, seriously, it's me. It's on it's part of my writing playlist. So
is it? Are you serious?
Yeah. So it's me that's been.
Oh my god!
It's also on my my Amazon playlist. Has it as like I have it added to my likes and more. So like it just the album just comes through like while I'm driving, and I just
I just blew my fucking mind. Like, yo, I was just looking today. I checked it last week, and it was at like $2.99. I checked it this morning. It was like 3,304 streams. Like for and I'm like, I don't know who's listening, but I appreciate it. That is dope as fuck that it is on both of y'all's playlists and shit. Like, I am mind fucking blown. I ain't got nothing else to say. Max, more music is on the way. I'm mind blown. I'm shut the fuck up. I am on a DC Comics writers playlist. Like,
that's pretty dope. There you go.
Look at this.
The only other thing I have is, in addition to listening to the podcast and streaming Maxed and checking out both Queen of the Amazons and then the Coronation Special that just dropped recently, we are launching a merch store that should be coming out in, I want to say like a week or so is when that will officially launch. I need to put some finishing touches on some things, but you can check that out as well, which I'm super pumped for. So if you wanted any films in black and white merch, or any like anything like shirts, sweatshirts, whatever, you can get it. We have a really cool logo that I'm super pumped about. That is a lot of fun, but yeah, excited to launch that for all y'all.
It's gonna be so good.
Absolutely. But more importantly, we have a 3-step process to success. And Brian, I would love it if you would give us the first step.
Hey folks, you gotta read. I don't know how else to tell you this, but you gotta read, and it can be a book, it can be a short book, it can be a poem, it can even be a graphic novel per se, Nubia, Queen of the Amazons. But just read and learn about somebody else's perspective. Read.
Absolutely gotta do that. The second step to success is, look, y'all, it's getting hot and you gotta start drinking some water. Like, no more, this isn't winter anymore. You can't walk outside and get away with not drinking any water. You need to drink water because it's gonna get hot and muggy, and it's just gonna be a whole thing. And if you take care of your body, it'll take care of you. So take a break from your soda, put some water in your body, and your body will thank you for it. Marcus?
All right, listen, the last rule, you need to wash your ass.
It's important.
You know what happens when you don't wash your ass? You end up looking like that dead Dr. Strange. That's what, literally, if you don't wash your ass, that's what you look like. That's what the stench around you looks like if you don't wash your ass. Professor X needs help washing his ass. I don't know how he does it in that big-ass cardboard box he got rolling around. But, like, you just have to do it. Like, there's no extra extended reasons. Wash your ass. Wash your fingertips. That's also important because while you wash your ass, Wanda's black fingertips just reminded me. And all that scratching that you're doing in non-clean places ends up under your fingernails. And you just have to, you gotta clean that up too. So soap, extra soap when you wash your hands and wash your ass. Everybody, it's super important.
Oh Jesus! Yep, it's really important. So thank you for that. We will be back next week with a regularly scheduled news episode. So in the meantime and in the between time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We'll catch y'all next week.
Yeah.